can literally create content from something as simple as a word. For instance, uh, what is wrong with this word? This 3 letter word, okay? What's wrong with this word? And I'm not talking about the concept of war. What is wrong with this word? Okay, it's just 3 letters. And if you don't know, I'm going to give you a clue. Okay, here's another word. And see if you can tell what's wrong with this word now. If you figured it out, congratulations. If you don't, I'll give you another clue. Here's another word. Now, can you see what's wrong with this word? That's right. We have been pronouncing the A in war as an O. War. So that in itself is kind of mind blowing because nobody ever pays attention to this. Um, Everyone speaks the language day in, day out. No one pays attention to this, but we've been pronouncing war with the letter O, not with the letter A. And it's not apparent until you type out this word that you notice that it's exactly the same pronunciation as this word. These 2 words have the exact same pronunciation. Uh, Shit, where did it go? Okay, if you don't believe me, here, let's look up the definition for war. Okay, so there's the definition for war.
war,
Okay, all right, now let's look at the definition for this word. And notice the spelling, the pronunciation is exactly the same.
war, war,
Although, why did they change the voice?
war, war,
Anyways, god damn it. Okay, so now, let's take this further. We can use our imagination to create even more content with this word. Imagine all of the people that have spoken English for their most of their entire life and never noticed that they've been pronouncing war with the letter O and not with the letter A. And let's take it even further. Use your imagination to create even more content. So, okay, how many millions of people have lived their entire life, spoken English, and died, and never realized that they've spoken war with the letter O? Let's take that even further. That means that in order for you to pronounce this word, war, you have to learn how to pronounce it incorrectly. Because if you use the rules of the English language, like far, right? This is a consonant followed by the letter A, followed by another consonant. Exactly the same way this word is, but here it's pronounced far, right? So this should be war, not war. This should actually be pronounced war based on the rules of the English language, which means in order for you to pronounce this word incorrectly, you have to learn the incorrect pronunciation of this word because the rules are completely ignored. You learn to pronounce A as ah, like far, and this word as war as war. And the fact that no one ever realizes this means that they're not using the rules of the English language to speak these words. They're learning to pronounce the words wrong. Now, let's look at another word that is pronounced wrong. And here it is. It's this word. And by now, you may be able to notice that you're pronouncing words wrong because this is how we're pronouncing this word. We don't pronounce it with O, we're pronouncing it with word, with an E. The same thing with this one, right? This is pronounced worm. And warm is pronounced warm with an O. Now, this is just kind of illustrate how ridiculous English is as a language, right? The O in this word is pronounced with the E, but the A in this word is pronounced with the O. And this O is pronounced with an E. God damn it, I suck. It sucks, man. And if I could, I would, at this point, I would show you a scene from The Men Who Stare at Goats. Um, but I can't show you the scene because I'm so terrified of the YouTube copyright system. I'll just ask you to find it. The Men Who Stare at Goats. It's the Jedi Warrior scene. Uh, Basically, the movie is saying that we are literally walking around with our eyes closed. And, I mean, nothing proved to me, nothing illustrates this more than how we pronounce words. We don't even know that we're pronouncing words incorrectly. Uh, Now, here's another thing. Now that you know these facts, you can use your imagination even further. Take this knowledge that you're pronouncing the words wrong and take it even further. You could use this to always win a bet. Okay? So you bet someone that they cannot spell war correctly, right? And if they pronounce it this way, you tell them no, it was WORE. And if they spell it this way, you tell them no, it was this word. You win the bet every time. Now let's take it even further. Okay, so there's lots more. We're not out of content. There's even more. All right, you've probably never known this word, letter. Now, you've probably never noticed that you're actually pronouncing this with as letter. Now, no one pronounces this word as letter except maybe the British. And they don't even pronounce the R. A British person would pronounce it letta. 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 Same goes with bitter, bitter, better, butter. All of them are pronounced with the D. Now, to prove it, say tank and then say letter. Those two T's don't sound remotely the same. Obviously, tank in T, the T in tank is correct, but letter, bitter, better, butter, all of those are wrong. They're pronounced with a D. And I have even more. We're still not out of the English language content. Say this word. Say this word out. Say this word. What's wrong with this word? we're pronouncing this word as 20. Ask someone to say 20, 20, 20, 20, 20. 24 hours ago. And at this point, I would play to you songs like Ramones, I Want to Be Sedated, or 21 Savage, the freshman song. If you listen to those songs, well, fine. Let's just see what it sounds like. Let's just Google it.
Hey Google, how far?
Ad for Google. God, I'm so glad Google can tell us how many miles to the moon it is. That's so critical. Now, did you hear that? I think I'm within. I played less than 10 seconds of this music, so no copyright strike, okay? Yes, this is how they pronounced it. Yeah, they did not say 20. And notice this as well. You will say 20 if you're mad. If you're mad, you will actually pronounce the second T in 20. 20. Like, if you're shouting, like, and you're saying 20, you pronounce the 20 20 minutes ago. Have you ever noticed that? I've never noticed it, but it just, I don't know what happened. My brain has started working, and I noticed like things that I never used to pay attention to, and this word 20 is one of them. If you're angry, you will pronounce the second T in 20. 20 minutes ago, I told you to get ready for school, right? You would definitely say it that way. But, you know, if you're just casually speaking 20, I want 20 oranges, please. I want 20 oranges. Okay, Savage, Freshman. Lyrics. Okay, let's look at the lyrics. Here we go. Oh, where's the part where? Okay, here we go.
Yola, 21, 100 round drum on the bottom. Bitch, I'm trying to cook this Yola, 21, 100 round drum on the bottom of that shit. Chopping soda. What? Bitch, I'm trying to cook this Yola, 21, 100 round drum.
Yeah, it's 21, 21, 21, 21.
Ran out of soda. What? Bitch, I'm trying to cook this Yola, 21, 100 round drum on.
Anyway, there's 21, 21, 21, 21. And then when you're angry, I told you 20 minutes ago to get ready for school. All right, so holy shit, I'm sorry. I don't know. I am so disorganized. I can't fucking think of what to say. All right, so here's another thing you probably never thought of, but the comment section is your turn to create content. Like, okay, the content could be, oh, you're trash or whatever, but it's content. It's your turn to create the content. So I'm going to tell you how you can create the content. I think a good stream or a good YouTuber uses the comment section to guide the comments in what they're putting in. So I'm going to tell you how to create content in the section below by telling me your words that you realize we've been pronouncing incorrectly for all of our lives and have never realized it. Or maybe just things in life in general that are weird, and no one pays attention to any of it. And the reason why I like this is, one, it doesn't take any expenses to point these things out, and two, it kind of blows our mind, right? Like, I love comedians who point out things that we take for granted every day, and we never think about them. But when you do, it's completely bizarre. And an example of this is Louis C.K. He talks about people flying from New York to L.A. and, the whole time everyone is complaining, right? And nobody thinks about, well, this used to take, like years of walking and riding on a wagon trail, being attacked by Indians, and people would die along the way. And by the time you got to the other end, by the time you got to Los Angeles, it was a totally different group of people than when you started. No one thinks about the hardship. All people can think about is, oh God, I hate parking. I hate the cost of the airlines. I hate airline food. Oh, the airline gives no food. Blah, blah, blah. Just endless things to complain about when the alternative is just the most grueling life and death struggle you could ever take. So I love comedy that does that. It points out things nobody ever thinks about. So this is your turn to use the comments to create content and tell us words that we pronounce wrong and never think about it, or just things in general in everyday life. All right, so I'm gonna end this stream now. Stop. How do I stop? There we go. Stop. Oh my God! 30% skip frames.